Welcome back, fans. Welcome back to Chaos Corner here on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel, with another episodic YouTube adventure for story time as we do a book review on the legendary Toad's Place. It really has been an incredible read thus far. We are in Chapter 3, Part 4, I believe, maybe Part 5. Go back and check out the previous episodes. I went down and visited Toad's Place to give you a face to the place. You know my history from being a bouncer there on a couple of different stints. This is from stories from the New Haven's famed music venue, written by co-owner Brian Phelps and columnist Randall Beach. I'm going to be covering this through the Christmas season into the new year as we do this book review here on Storytime. I can't thank you fans enough for being here. Shout out to Austin Nance, my brother from another mother, along with the OTS Tribal Queen, who are holding it down, maintaining, and keeping it real in the chat. Drop an elbow on that like button, share, subscribe, leave a comment, get us in the algorithm as we continue with our book review of the legendary Toad's Place. As I said, we've already put up several videos. We went down there during the day to put a face to the place. We're going to go down there one evening and check out the inside venue. It really is a historical, unbelievable venue. And if you haven't been here, in the greater New England tri-state northeast area, in the shadows of Titan Towers, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You know this is a history channel. Usually we cover the IWC and pro wrestling, sports entertainment, but we're changing it up here through the holiday season, taking a little respite from the insane IWC to present this amazing book. And we're going to read it together for the very first time here on Chaos Corner. Sit back and relax, grab a snack, and let's get into Chapter 3. I believe this is Part 4. Maybe Part 5. I'm as confused as a baby at Hooters. But I'm certainly busier than a blow-up doll at a frat party. That's for dang sure. Chapter 3, Billy Joel, U2, and much more. Let me know what you think of this series so far. Again, it's a little off the beaten path for what we do here on Chaos Corner, but I wanted to change it up, because you never know what I'm going to do, what I'm going to present, what I'm going to post, what I'm going to say, how we're going to go off the air here at Chaos Corner. One man, unique, unedited, unscripted, raw dog for you, the fans. And in order to get respect, you have to start with respecting yourself. Once you do that, you open other people's minds to respecting you, because there's three types of people in this world: those who don't know what happened, those who wonder what happened, and people like the GOC, that's me, that make things happen. And I'll say that to say this, because I tell it like it is. Navigate the playlist here. Over 5,000 videos on the channel. Well over 1 million total views. Go to the playlist, as I said, and check out the Chaos Corner shows. Over 500 episodes, because this isn't a fucking podcast. This is a show. Go to the In-Ring Classics. Go to Classic Corner. Go to Dinner for Two, the show that I do with my wife. Go to the shorts. You'll see more all about the personality and my personal life with my family. You won't get much more than this. All the talk shows here on the channel. And of course, my over 30-year in-ring career as a pro wrestling manager, or at least most of it, and all the people I worked with on different venues, with legends and heroes and young lions and rookies and future superstars. And of course, my career. Go up to the top of the page and read a description. And my career and all the different bands that I had the opportunity to work security for, to work the dressing rooms, to escort them back and forth to the stage, from every genre you can think of, from Metallica to Jimmy Buffett to Rod Stewart to Madonna, to Slick Rick, Big Daddy Kane, De La Soul, Bobby Brown, New Edition, LL Cool J. Too many bands to remember. I can go on and on. One day, even the local bands of MVP and Crucible and Second Wind, and I'll get on to all that. We'll cover that by the end here. But listen, we have like 15 chapters to go. Go out and get it on audio or get the hard copy like I did at Barnes & Noble. You truly won't regret this. Okay, even if you're not from this area, the Constitution State, as I always say, in the shadows of Titan Towers, you will find this to be one of the most amazing clubs throughout this country over the last 50 years. It opened in 1975 down there on York Street. Okay, in the shadows of Yale University, the New Haven Green, the New Haven Coliseum, the old New Haven Arena, and other legendary venues like the Schubert and the Palace and the Agora Ballroom and the Oxford Ale House and the Great American Music Hall are surrounded by many universities such as Yale University, the Skull and Bones, if you will, Quinnipiac University, University of New Haven, Albertus Magnus, Southern Connecticut State University. At the time, in the 70s into the 80s, the drinking age was only 18. And of course, you would have been able to see yours truly at the front door and throwing people out the side door or working with several bands on stage. I mean, that's just my career, part of my illustrious, colorful career that I'm truly grateful, blessed, humbled, and honored to be a part of. I can't thank the people that allowed me to work with them more than enough, and I can't thank you fans enough for being here. It's a much-needed distraction, a temporary distraction, a stress reliever. That's what I call this show and this channel. And all these times of wars and rumors of wars and border invasion and the economy and price gouging and groceries and the environment and drones and UFOs and crime. It's unbelievable what's really going on. So don't go anywhere. We're going to go on to chapter 3 here. I believe it's part 4 or 5 before we get on to the big next chapter, which is going to be chapter 4, The Stones Roll In. Again, I want you to go back and listen to all these shows in regards to toads. You know what a toad is, right? Where the expression of where Toad's Place comes from. It comes from Mike Spernoodle, Brian Phelps, the co-owners, who opened up Toad's 1975. Well, Mike first, Big Mike first, and then Brian came on board, who was my manager, my boss, along with Tank and Whiskey as the security bouncers at the door. I already told you, I'm repeating myself. My mind's like a lazy Susan. It'll come back around, and my 2 different stints working at Toad's. This is probably one of the most colorful places you ever want to visit. It's still open to this day in 2024. There are legendary dance parties on Saturday nights and the Lily's Pad upstairs and the downstairs unbelievable dressing room with all the signatures on it, including yours truly, of every band that ever played there. So don't go anywhere yet. We're going to come right back. I'm going to make this a short, brief episode for this part before we move on to chapter 4. Stay mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually fit, because if he's for us, no one else can be against us. As I said, with everything that's going on, keep your head on a swivel. We don't know what's coming in 2025, so enjoy the holidays. There's a lot going on. Stay in faith, not in fear. If he's for us, no one else can be against us, and I mean that. Let's get on to the legendary Toad's Place. We're still in chapter 3. There are some bands that just become special. For us, it was the Ramones. They stopped off at Toad's almost every one of their tours, starting in the late 70s. Most of their shows sold out. They liked bright lights and high volume. Their songs were short and electric. Blitzkrieg Bop, Cretin Hop, Teenage Lobotomy, I Wanna Be Sedated. The KKK took my baby away, Rock and Roll High School. They wore motorcycle jackets and sneakers, as did most of the fans. At a carefully planned point during each show, they would have a guy hold up a sign that read, Gabba Gabba Hey. This was a refrain from their song Pinhead. For all you pinheads out there, no offense, man, lighten up, kayfabe. This dude would walk back and forth behind the band as they played Pinhead. We at Toad's consider the Ramones to be the greatest rock and roll punk band of all time. This was their lineup: Joey Ramone as lead singer, Dee Dee Ramone on the bass guitar, Johnny Ramone on guitar, and Tommy Ramone on drums. Well, he left in 1978, replaced by Mark Bell, who then switched his name to Marky Ramone. None of them were really from the Ramone family, ironically enough. It didn't exist. They weren't related. They all just used that name. And that's what you find out here on this channel. And that's why you're here. Yeah, I'm a little scruffy. Calm down. It's wintertime. It's the first day of the winter solstice. On their final performance with us on February 23rd, 1996, I hope your notebooks are out. Keep them out throughout this whole broadcast. As part of what they called their farewell tour, we got a huge cake for them as a send-off. We thought that was the way to go because none of them drank alcohol. They always wanted Yoo-hoo chocolate milk in their dressing rooms. Write this down, fans. Historical facts. Rick Allison, a DJ who was program director at 99.1 FM, the local classic rock station here in this area, historic director at WPLR from 1991 to 1983, recalls that when the Ramones were starting out, this was a band that was dangerous. People were afraid of them. They were punks. They were dirty. They would start a song and it was 1, 2, 3, bang, go. Many years later, in February 2015, Marky Ramone came back to Toads, but his appearance was upstairs in what we call the Lily's Pad, a small adjunct performance space. He came there to promote his book, Punk Rock Blitzkrieg, My Life as a Ramone. The room was filled with eager fans, but there was an undercurrent of sadness. He was the only Ramone that was still alive. When I introduced Marky that night, I told the audience that the first time the Ramones rolled into Toads, I was kind of afraid of them. As Allison said, we had had some trouble with the bikers, and when I saw photos of the band, I wondered, should I get extra security for this? What's going on? But then they walked in. All of them were wearing sneakers. So were their followers. Marky told us during his talk in 2015 that the band members just wore what they had always worn back in Queens. But for me, it was a sign it was going to be okay. They were harmless. When Marky was asked how it feels to be the only Ramone left standing, he said, "It sucks. We were like brothers. They died too young." And speaking of that, on a personal note, just want to put that out there for my fans and people that subscribe to this channel and those that watch the replay or just happen to come in and check out this legendary book review that we're doing. I'm asking for prayers for my oldest brother, his name happens to be Mark, who currently right now is in ICU and fighting for his life. So as I bring this to you as a shoot and from the bottom of my heart, I would certainly love to have you guys send me or leave thoughts and comments and well wishes to my oldest brother, Mark. Like I said, who's been sick for about a decade now, and he's currently fighting for his life during this Christmas season. So with that being said, I certainly would greatly appreciate it. Prayers for my brother. I'll say that to say this because I tell it like it is. Don't you dare miss it.